Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the A&R Nascar Cup Series, Season 4. We are here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600 for 4th of July weekend. It most likely this video won't come out in 4th of July weekend, but in the 164 universe it is currently July 4th. The Air Force has brought their B-17G Flying Fortress aluminum overcast here to commemorate it. If you saw last week's video on the All-Star race, it was there too. In fact, this B-17 even has war damage, lost a blade on its propeller, and a wheel on its landing gear, but we don't need to worry about that. Let's get to the drivers. But before we do, this video is brought to you by Blue Diamond Almond Nut Thins, Smokehouse Edition. Nut Thins, it's Ryan's addiction. Hashtag not sponsored, Blue Diamond.
Last week, we had an exciting race. Alex Bowman took home the $1 million prize. Pretty much everything's gone right for Alex Bowman this season. He's currently leading the points. He's won at Vegas. He finished third in the Daytona 500. He's finished in the top 10 in all three of the points-paying races so far. The only other driver to do that is Ryan Newman. Brad Keselowski and Bubba Wallace, thankfully, were able to settle their bad blood that was between them after Bubba Wallace dumped Keselowski in the All-Star race last week. This week's starting grid is not determined on last week's finishing results in the All-Star race. Because there's no qualifying or practice anymore, we go back to the previous races finishing results, but because it was the All-Star race and not a points-paying race, we go back to Watkins Glen, the last points-paying race, where Kevin Harvick took home the trophy and Ryan Newman finished runner-up. So here at Charlotte, we're gonna look at some drivers to watch out for here today. Kevin Harvick starting on the pole via his win last week. He's won this race before. He finished first here a couple years ago in the Coca-Cola 600, beating out Eric Almirola when he was in his first year with Stewart-Haas Racing. Martin Truex Jr., look out for him. He finished fourth a few weeks ago at the Glen, which was his first good finish of the season. But he also had a strong week last week, although he was eliminated in the Open. He showed great speed, so we'll see if they tune that Bass Pro Shops Toyota up even more in order to win the race here today. Alex Bowman, obviously, is always one to look out for, as he won this race last week, the All-Star race, so he obviously knows Charlotte as well. The last driver to watch out for here today is Cole Custer. He dominated the All-Star Open, but was eliminated in the first round of the All-Star race. Showed great speed, though, and Daniel Suarez, who was the driver of the 41 before Custer took over, has won this race twice. So the 41 is the reigning winner of this race. So let's see if he can get the 41 back to victory lane here at Charlotte. Wildlife on the track. Security? The first race we have today is between the one of Kurt Busch, who unfortunately currently sits very low in the standings. He's below the cutoff line right now. He's -9 to the cut line. Kevin Harvick, however, has won 2 of the first 3 points-paying races, I should say, this year and finished second in the All-Star race. Let's see if Kevin Harvick can beat Kurt Busch here in 3, 2, 1. Kevin Harvick with a massive jump, and he will hold on as Kurt Busch has yet another problem here at Charlotte.
It's too close to call. I don't believe it's close to call.
Our next matchup is between Ryan Newman and Bubba Wallace. Let's see how well these two do against each other. Bubba Wallace was pretty dirty in the All-Star race, but makes sense because $1 million are on the line. Let's see how well they do when they're actually racing in 3, 2, 1. Bubba Wallace wrecks out. Ryan Newman will take the victory.
Supposed to hit a banana peel?
Looks like karma struck Bubba Wallace hard from what he did last week, so he will not be making a victory here at Charlotte.
Next we have William Byron, who finished 3rd at the Glen a few weeks ago. And then Austin Dillon, who finished poorly. He's looking to rebound, as his first 2 races of the season were great, but his 3rd one was not. 3, 2, 1. William Byron with the jump, and he will hold on and win here in Stage 1.
Next up, 2 Joe Gibbs cars. We got Truex and we've got Hamlin. Let's see how well these two do against each other in 3, 2, 1. And Truex Jr. will beat him out.
Martin Truex Jr. looks like his string of success as of late is continuing against his teammate Denny Hamlin. Martin Truex Jr. trying to rebound from a disappointing start to the season, trying to climb himself out of a hole, and he's done that over the past few weeks. He started off the season with 2 poor finishes, and by the end of Las Vegas, he was sitting last in the standings, -6 to the cut line. Now he sits +7 to the cut line in 15th place. Next we have Eric Jones, currently having a decent season, and then Jimmy Johnson, who's trying to climb out of a hole as well, as he currently sits 7 points below the cut line. But we know what happened last year. He came on late in the latter half of the regular season on fire and was able to make the playoffs. Maybe he's just doing that again. 3, 2, 1. Eric Jones with the jump, and he will hold on.
Our next matchup of stage number 1 is between Clint Bowyer and Matt Benedetto. Let's see how well these two do in 3, 2, 1. And Clint Bowyer takes the victory.
Next we have Kyle Busch and Cole Custer. Sorry about that, cameraman injured himself a little bit. He's alright now. We were talking about Cole Custer and Kyle Busch. Let's see which one will win here in 3, 2, 1. Custer with the jump, and he will hold on as Kyle Busch, out of desperation, spins out.
Our next matchup is between 2 Penske drivers. We have Brad Keselowski, or as in last week Ryan said, Bad Keselowski.
I think Bubba Wallace just turned Bad Keselowski.
Or we have Ryan Blaney in 3, 2, 1, go. Keselowski will take the victory. Blaney barely even made it onto the pavement.
Next we have the All-Star Race winner, Alex Bowman, going against Chase Elliott. He's on a bit of a drought here. Let's see if he can turn things around against his teammate in 3, 2, 1. Alex Bowman with a huge jump, and he will hold on.
Next, the final matchup of stage number 1 between Joey Logano and Eric Almirola. Let's see how well they do in 3, 2, 1. Joey Logano takes the final stage 1 victory.
Next, we have Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. Ford duel here in 3, 2, 1. Kevin Harvick will hold on and beat Joey Logano.
Next up, we have Ryan Newman, nearly said Ryan Blaney, and there's Ryan, the other announcer. So we got 3 Ryans in this series. And then we have Alex Bowman. Speaking of Ryan, he's currently fixing up the track, so it's a fair fight.
This is the first time that Alex Bowman does not have the preferred line here at Charlotte all of these couple of weeks. Let's see how he prevails.
In 3, a 2, a 1, and a go. And he just rockets past, just like in the All-Star race in his Valvoline car. He just rockets around him. That was crazy. We'll have to check the replay on that, because I think he went to the outside wall, did like a crossover maneuver, and then cut him off.
Next, we have William Byron and Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski in his first points-paying race with discount tire on the hood. He's made it to stage 2. Let's see if he can make it to stage 3 here in 3, 2, 1. Byron with the jump, and he will hold on.
Our next matchup of Stage 3 is of 2 new paint schemes and 2 very good-looking new paint schemes between Martin Truex Jr. and Cole Custer. Let's see how well these 2 do against each other here at Charlotte in 3, 2, 1. And Custer wrecks out, so Truex will take the checkered flag.
Last matchup of stage number 2, we have Bowyer versus Jones. Jones was eliminated early in the All-Star race, but he's here in stage 2 in the Coke 600, so maybe he's trying to win Charlotte for a points-paying race this time. In 3, 2, 1. Jones with the jump, and he will hold on.
Our next matchup is of the 420 Blaze It cars in 3, 2, 1. Harvick for the victory.
Next we have Alex Bowman and Martin Truex Jr. See if Martin Truex Jr. can beat Alex Bowman and continue his surge in 3, 2, 1. Bowman with a big jump. Bowman's gonna hold on. The Bowman show here at Charlotte continues.
This is it, the semi-finale between Kevin Harvick and his number 4 Jimmy Johns and William Byron and his red, white, and blue Exalta, primarily white. Let's see how well these 2 do, and whoever wins here will go up against the rocket ship that is Alex Bowman, the greatest showman. In 3, 2, 1, go. Kevin Harvick will take the victory.
"600 miles of grueling racing will all come down to this. The 2 drivers that have been the most dominant out of everybody this season are going to duel for the trophy here at Charlotte. Kevin Harvick is going for his 3rd win this season and his 2nd straight. That means that he would have a 75% win ratio so far this season. Alex Bowman would just add yet another win to his career, as he's already leading the points, so he would boost that cushion even more over Ryan Newman and Kevin Harvick. He's looking for back-to-back wins here at Charlotte, although last week was just for $1 million. Kevin Harvick, he's won this race before, though. He won this a couple years ago. He knows how to get it done. Let's see if he can get it done here against Alex Bowman. In 3, 2, 1. 600 miles comes down to Kevin Harvick, I believe. It was a close race. I'm not sure if I was able to get that on camera. We'll check the replay. Kevin Harvick is your winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, his second career Coke 600 victory. Alex Bowman did the same error that all the other drivers have done at Charlotte, and that's take the turn too early and have a rough transition to the pavement, and that killed enough momentum to where Harvick was able to squeak by and retake the lead and cross the finish line before him. So right now, Kevin Harvick and Alex Bowman are the class of the field, and class still remains in session. Kevin Harvick and Alex Bowman are putting on a clinic here in Season 4, as they're the only winners this season. There are 4 races, and there are 2 winners out of 20 drivers. That is when you know you're at the top of your game. And Kevin Harvick looks as though he is not going to let that championship that slipped away from him last year get in the way of his phenomenal season this year, as he literally has a 75% win ratio right now. He has won 3 of the 4 races, and the one race that he didn't came at Las Vegas, where he finished last. So it is extreme. It goes to extreme ends of the spectrum. He either is really good or really bad. And so far, he's had 2 or 3 really good races where he's won. Alex Bowman, though, will finish second in the race. So I am positive that Kevin Harvick, still with 3 wins in the season, will still not retake the points lead, because Alex Bowman finished second. Because even though Kevin Harvick will be awarded 20 points from this race, Alex Bowman will be awarded 19. So he will only make a 1-point gain on Alex Bowman. And he entered this race 9 points below first place. So he will still be 8 points below Alex Bowman in the standings after the points are all added up in a few hours after the conclusion of this race. But Kevin Harvick can celebrate yet another victory, as he is a 3-time winner here in season number 4. So Kevin Harvick wins his second Coca-Cola 600. Alex Bowman finished his second. William Byron, another third-place finish. It's like almost identical. William Byron finishes third again, just like last week. He will continue his string of top 5 finishes, as that is his 3rd top 5 this season. Martin Truex Jr., his 2nd top 5, and his 2nd in a row. After starting the season off poorly, he will now add to that cushion over the cut line, due to the fact that many of the drivers that are sitting below the cut line, all 4 to be exact, Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Jimmy Johnson, all finished very poorly, and he finished very well. And then rounding out the top 5 today is Eric Jones with yet another top 5. Clint Bowyer and Cole Custer will finish in the 6th and 7th positions. So another top 10 for both of those drivers. And then we have Brad Keselowski in the 8th position. And then Ford's in the 9th and 10th position. Ryan Newman will finish in the top 10 For the 4th time this season, he is perfect on top 10 so far this season. Joey Logano, a much-needed top 10 for him, as he's gotten off to a slow start this year, but things looking in the right direction now. Eric Almirola, struggling a bit this year after having a hot start last year. See if he can turn things around here. Chase Elliott, not the finish that they hoped for today, neither for any of these drivers as well. Matt DiBenedetto, after starting the season with 2 consecutive top 5 finishes, is now outside the top 10 in the 2 following. So, Ford had a great day as they won, and they took home 5 of the last top 10 spots. 6 rather. They took home 6 spots in the top 10.
6 to 11.
But yes, Stewart-Haas Racing filled 6 of the 10 top 10 spots. And Toyota took 2 and Chevrolet took 2, as it's been much of the same so far this year, as we've had the drivers that are good stay good, and the drivers that have struggled continue to struggle. But what a race here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are done here now from Charlotte, and we will pack up and we will head to Bristol, Tennessee for some short track racing. And you want to know a fun fact? Kevin Harvick finished 2nd there 2 years ago, and Clint Boyer won it. And Kevin Harvick won Martinsville, a short track, last year. So, things are looking pretty good for Stewart-Haas Racing right now, if you want to be completely honest.
Next week at Bristol, you'll be seeing that same logo. Instead of Charlotte, it'll be Bristol.
Thank you all for watching here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's been a pleasure broadcasting to you today. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. And stay tuned next week at Bristol for some short track racing. It's Bristol, baby.